Hello. Instead of doing anything else I wanted to do, anything else I had planned, I'm going to be talking about transphobia mainly because I've seen so much transphobia in the last handful of weeks due to local elections happening here in the US. But I don't want to be too serious about it, so here are some of the most ludicrous transphobic arguments I have ever seen. Before we get started, I actually wanted to talk about the word transphobia because people do argue that itself. Some people argue it in a few different ways. One of the ways is, quote, phobia means irrational fear. I'm not afraid, therefore it's not a phobia. No, it doesn't. It does not mean irrational fear. Phobia can mean that. However, in this context, it means a prejudice against, like xenophobia, homophobia, and transphobia. But then there's people that do recognize the real meaning of the word, but says it doesn't really exist. Quote, some trans people might live in unwelcoming and abusive situations if they come out, but being trans is a straight shot to being cool. It's incomparable to if a rad femme or TERF were to come out. If TERFs speak on their opinion in real life, they'd lose a good chunk of their friends and family. People threaten their lives daily. End quote. So before anything, even if this was true, being cool doesn't stop prejudice against someone. That doesn't stop all the bills and laws and slurs that people in government are putting forward. Somehow this person recognizes transphobia, but somehow also refuses to acknowledge how much trans people face. These people would lose friends. I have lost whole communities. Do you think the people from my church that I grew up in think I'm cool because I'm trans? For years, being trans put a strain on family relationships because they held on to transphobia. People threaten your lives daily? On a nameless, faceless profile online, I have been called slurs. I have been told to kill myself. I have been told that everyone secretly hates me. I have been called a pedophile for absolutely no reason, besides that I am trans. All for simply existing as a trans person. The first real argument that I want to mention is actually one of the reasons why I started writing down all these ridiculous transphobia comments in the first place, because it was just so wild to me. After getting top surgery, the person can never lift their arms above their head again. Yes, you can. Every other person I know that has had top surgery can lift their arms above their head. I'm going to give this person the benefit of the doubt, and I think they heard about the thing called T-Rex arms that people that had top surgery do, where essentially you keep your elbow near your waist and you just move your forearms. Hence, T-Rex arms. And they just assume that this is permanent. After having top surgery, you're good to go about a month afterwards. Personally, I had my all clear appointment a month and 9 days after my surgery, to be exact. It's just if people were not able to move their arms in a very substantial way after top surgery, people wouldn't have okayed this surgery. The next one is trans men can't say queer because it wasn't used against them. What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, yes, they can. Second, yes, it has been used against them and continues to still be used against them. When I was a kid, that was the most used derogatory anti-LGBT word used against me. Even more than anti-lesbian terms, which people thought I was one. But like with the last one, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they heard the argument of trans men can't say the F slur, took that, misquoted it, and put it out there, and people just started agreeing with it. Those two first arguments, I can actually see a thread of logic that just happened to get tangled up and completely lost the plot. However, for the next ones, they never had a leg to stand on to begin with. You never see a trans man in art because the trans community is so misogynistic they don't like female bodies. Oh, can you fucking imagine? That's actually one of the two arguments that I saw that made me write this ludicrous transphobia list. I have seen multiple trans men in art today. I have seen art with different body shapes and in different art styles, all loving and acknowledging trans men's bodies. I also want to point out that saying female body is such a weird thing, because yeah, they can have still certain body parts, but also post-op trans men are also shown in art, but so is pre-op trans men, but also post-op trans women and pre-op trans women. I don't know where this person is on the internet and where they're looking, but in my corner of the internet, I see trans people in art all the time, mainly because I follow trans artists. I'm so convinced I can find art of a trans man on my timeline, on my personal timeline, that I'm going to time myself.
A few minutes later.
It took 3 minutes. I also want to add that I have seen the opposite of this argument, but that's for another day. On to the next. Testosterone gel is dangerous for everyone. You smear it all over your body and have to wait hours for it to dry. And you know trans people aren't doing that and are riding public transport. It's dangerous. Okay, so first up, hell yeah to trans people using public transportation. There should be more. It should be more accessible. 2, think of hand sanitizer. That is what testosterone gel is like. It dries very quickly. It is made to dry very quickly. Literally a couple minutes and you're good to go. Also, it is not all over. It is in one spot. The thighs and upper arms are 2 places that I heard of. Mine is the upper arms. The instructions say, quote, upper arms and shoulders that can be covered by a t-shirt. So for me, the application is, I apply it, I wash my hands in the bathroom, I go back to my room, and usually by then it's dry, so I put a shirt on, and I'm good to go. Next thing is, the reason why my instruction says so it can be covered by a shirt is because testosterone gel is active for 2 hours. Not hours, all caps, just 2 hours. After those 2 hours, you can wash off the residue, take a shower, whatever you want. Just 2 hours of dry gel underneath fabric. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you did touch fresh out of the pump testosterone gel. Just wash it off. Even just plain water affects it, which is why you should have dry hands when applying testosterone gel to begin with. But if you use soap and warm water, you'll know without a shadow of a doubt that there is no testosterone left on you. But for the sake of really getting into this argument, let's go a step further. You got some on you, and you can't wash it off. You have no soap. 1 dose will not affect you. You will be fine. There's a reason people are prescribed taking testosterone gel daily. It's because it's not one and done. One time my sibling hugged my bare shoulder 1.5 hours after I put on testosterone gel, and nothing happened. No facial hair, no voice deepening, no body changes, because my body had already absorbed most of the testosterone, and it was only one time for 1 second. Yes, I did tell her. She did not care. She actually joked about hugging the other shoulder. If you are still worried about the long-term effects of testosterone gel on people that are not prescribed it, I had been on testosterone gel for over 2 years, living with 3 people assigned female at birth. No one has had any side effects from it. This next one is so ludicrous, I don't even have the words. Top surgery is the new lobotomy. I'm not even joking. That is so fucking ludicrous and incomparable that I don't even know where to start. One is a procedure that literally physically affects your brain, and it has levels of extreme complications, while the other one's goal is to flatten the chest with relatively low risk. There is no similarities here. There's just a weird, sad argument to stop trans people from getting healthcare they deserve. This is so ludicrous, but it infuriates me so much. The last one I want to talk about today, because I have so many more. The last one is simple, but I've seen it around, and it's spelling the T slur as Trahknees or Trahknees to get around censorship. I don't see why they don't just add the dash to get around the censors. Okay, I get it. Your comment might be flagged. For me, it's the fact that people are writing it out as if you're sounding it out, but they're using knees with a K. Because the first time I saw it, my brain wanted to pronounce the K, and I didn't even recognize it as the slur. If you are going to be transphobic, if you are going to use that word, why would you not try to say it with your whole chest? It's just embarrassing. But also, definitely don't say it. Why the fuck are you that? Okay, that's it for now because, like, I can't do this anymore. Those were the ones I have looked through. Like I said, I have so many of these because people just say the most ludicrous, unhinged, ridiculous, transphobic comments and arguments online without thinking twice. Often not citing sources, or their sources just trust me. And if some reason you're still here, don't forget to vote in your local election. Give it your states, in your country, around the world. If you have a chance to vote, go vote. I voted overseas when I was overseas, and when I lived in different countries, I got to hear and learn about their particular politics. And it really opened my eyes to see how many people in other places also struggle with getting voters into the polls. If you are given the option, take it. Vote no matter where you are. Even if you think, oh, well, what's the point? We're going to lose anyways. It is important to have on record how many people disagree. It is important to have your voice heard. Go vote.